service agents will have the final authority to refuse travel for inappropriate attire or appearance. But even with that, since this has gone viral, the airline has tried to do damage control by telling reporters that it is reaching out to Howard to try to make this right, with Howard later posting,
"They gave me my money back from my 3 seats and then tried to compensate me for the situation by offering me a discount code to use on a future purchase."
Right, and so with the debate this has sparked, which, by the way, I would love to know your thoughts on this, we've also seen many people comparing this story to another making headlines this week involving a thin blonde woman who walked through an airport in a bikini and a face mask. Right, and while it's unclear what airline this woman was actually flying, if she made it on board, was she still dressed this way, prompted many people to argue that the reactions both at the airport and online would have been different if she had not been conventionally attractive. And then, let's talk about a topic that's been in the news a lot lately. You got money, debt, and student loans. That's where we're gonna start. That specifically has been a major point of discussion over the last few years, especially since the pandemic. And over the last few weeks, President Biden has made headlines for erasing student debt for certain groups. Right at the end of last month, he canceled $5.8 billion for student loan borrowers with a total and permanent disability, as well as $1.1 billion for defrauded borrowers, bringing his total debt cancellation to $9.5 billion since taking office. And while many cheered this move, saying,
"We did it, Joe,"
others have noted that he's only canceled 0.6% of the $1.7 trillion in accumulated student debt. With Business Insider explaining, if this continues at the same pace, Biden will be on track to cancel about 4.8% of total student debt by the end of his term, which is why many have argued that Biden is failing here. He is falling short of his campaign promise to reform the student loan system and forgive $10,000 in student debt per borrower. Now, that said, Biden's supporters have noted that his administration has made significant efforts on this front. Right, things like reversing a Trump-era rule that prevented borrowers who had been defrauded by for-profit universities from accessing forgiveness that they were eligible for, as well as waiving administrative hurdles for borrowers with disability. And while the administration is still working towards broader forgiveness, Biden has said that he doesn't have the legal power to cancel student debt unilaterally without authorization from Congress and urging Democratic lawmakers to act. But on the other side here, and I'm not even talking about the Republicans, key Democratic leaders like Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called bullshit, arguing that Biden does in fact have the power to forgive debt, calling on him to erase $50,000 per borrower. But at the same time, you have other leaders like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying, no, Biden is right, he does not have the ability. But a big part of the reason that we're talking about this, a big part for the increased pressure, is that the US is getting closer and closer to a massive cliff. I'm talking about the expiration of loan relief benefits that were put into place during the pandemic, where for the last year plus, around 40 million borrowers have been exempt from mandatory federal payments, interest rates, and collection on loans in default. While those protections have been extended under both Trump and Biden, they are set to expire at the end of this coming January, and there is reportedly very little political will among Republicans in Congress to extend the benefits again. And then I want to talk about something with you that I've wanted to talk about for 3 months now, but I wanted to wait to get more data to back up what I was talking about. I didn't want to just use my own anecdotal experience. You watching and listening right now, if you are someone that only uses debit cards and because of that you have no credit, maybe you have bad credit, or maybe you don't even know what the hell your credit score is, please listen to this. Right now, while I'm talking, maybe on another device, maybe in another tab, go to cred.ai, or more specifically, cred.ai/Phil, which for transparency's sake, I am an investor in this company. If you sign up, I will benefit, but I also 1000% believe that you will greatly benefit yourself. I have personally said no to so many card offers that have come across my table because they're just built around taking advantage of regular people. Like, I don't want to attack any other individual creators that are out there right now pushing other cards, but a lot of those cards really don't do much. There's a reason why they're able to give away like hundreds of thousands of dollars in giveaways. And that's why I was so excited when I found and then did a deep dive into Cred AI. It's new, which is why you might not have heard about it before, but there is a reason that some have referred to it as the Tesla of banking, why some have said that it feels like having a debit card with superpowers in your pocket. Simply put, this is the best everyday spending card on earth. It is the debit card killer. Or what other cards call premium features, it's the baseline for Cred. 55,000 free ATMs at your disposal, and no bullshit. You'll never pay interest, you'll never pay fees. Hey, you set up direct deposit, you can actually get your money early. But then upping it a notch, let's talk about security. You can block and ban individual merchants in-app. Maybe you have that gym that you canceled, but they keep trying to charge you. Boom, be done with it. And maybe you're someone that has trust issues. I get it. Maybe you're making a purchase from a new place, or a place you just don't want your information or your name in their database. Use their stealth card. It's a second virtual card that you can make. Use it for one-time purchases, then blow it up, never use it again. Or maybe it's your monthly free trial card. I don't know. I'm not you. You can know how to use it best. But in my opinion, the absolute biggest thing, the biggest benefit I think for you, it is partially in the name Cred. Credit. I will let you know, as someone that, yes, does have my shit together now, Credit is so immensely important in your life. When we talk about invisible ceilings in life, credit is a huge one. I couldn't even get a credit card till I was in my 30s. There's so many things in your day-to-day life where credit checks are necessary, whether it be something like you're just trying to rent or you're trying to buy a car, or maybe further down the road you want to get a mortgage, get your own house. Well, I got to see what it did to my credit. That's anecdotal. I wanted to see what it actually did for regular people. So I told them, before I launch, I want you to do a study. And they found that based on those who signed up for Cred AI in spring of 2021, that non-credit card users and debit card only type people had an average increase of about 90 fucking points, with some people seeing increases as high as 190 points. And keep in mind, that's just after 60 days. Think of what happens after normal use, 6 months, a year, just it becomes a part of your life. Now, in this world, there are so many systems that are meant to keep you down. Do not let credit be one of them. It's something that's avoidable now, and it makes me so happy that I found these people that hate the industry, but also are smarter than me and figured out how to do it. So yeah, if at this point you still have not done it, please go to cred.ai/Phil, or hey, fuck me, you can go to cred.ai. I won't get the credit for it, but it's still for you. I know it can, and I hope it helps. And hey, at the very least, after you sign up, you get this dope-ass metal black card. You got some places that'll charge you like $500 a year just for the privilege, and this you get for free with signing up. Then, in what feels like our monthly why are people accusing one of the Paul brothers of being a scammer news, let's talk about crypto. Right, and so if you haven't seen, Logan Paul, like many other celebrities right now, getting very involved in the NFT space. Logan Paul specifically launching a big crypto NFT project called Crypto Zoo, describing itself as an autonomous ecosystem where users can buy, sell, and trade exotic animal hybrid NFTs. You can see some of these animals online, but according to YouTuber CoffeeZilla, who has uncovered a lot of influencer crypto controversies, these little animals are not as original as they claim to be, with him slamming the integrity of the images in a series of tweets saying, Logan Paul taking Adobe stock photos and photoshopping a nose on for his crypto art has a familiar energy. Don't support this clown project. My guy is literally ripping off stock photos, and their admin Ben Roth is lying about it in the Telegram, with him sharing an alleged screenshot of a Telegram message where Ben Roth responds to someone accusing them of using stock images, with Roth saying that they are not Adobe stock photos and are created and specifically designed by their team. But you had CoffeeZilla then linking to an Adobe source for a panda image, then doing a compare and contrast photos for multiple examples, with them also highlighting some of the legalese in their fine print that could allegedly screw people over if anyone wants to sue over a potential scam. Right, this among other alleged red flags. But finally, CoffeeZilla says that even despite all of this, Logan allegedly made $1.3 million in Ethereum selling Crypto Zoo eggs in just one day. And ultimately, for those that were sending this story to me saying, Phil, what are your thoughts? I have no idea. Here's my view of the NFT space. I believe you have your true believers, your hustlers, and your skeptics. I personally am a believer, but I'm also incredibly skeptical, especially when you have anything that is heavily celebrity pushed. It's my belief that 98% of NFT projects and NFTs are essentially going to be worthless in a few years. But I don't go out there voicing that a lot because there are a lot of artists who have been underpaid historically that are getting their bag right now. And I go, yeah, great for you. But we've also witnessed celebrity cash grab after celebrity cash grab. I believe that NFTs have a future if you're able to throw in utility and that utility can extend. But I also know a ton of people who have made a ton of money dabbling in the speculation game. So who am I to say anything? My ultimate advice for crypto, and I'll extend that to NFTs, is I think you should only throw money into this if you are comfortable with that money going away. It may multiply and make cute little money babies, but it also may find a new home in someone else's pocket. Hey, what are your thoughts on this project, specifically the NFT space in general, and has your opinion remained the same or changed over the past few months? And then let's talk about Texas, because a lot of news coming out of Texas, also kind of adjacent fallout following the abortion law that passed there recently. Or because among other things that we're seeing, you have a number of groups, businesses, and parts of the government now taking deliberate steps to undermine the law. Things like last Thursday, you had the dating app Bumble announcing that it's created a relief fund for people seeking abortions in the state. Same day, the CEO of Match Group telling her Texas-based employees that she would personally create a fund for both them and their dependents to help cover the additional costs incurred from seeking out-of-state care. Also, you had both Uber and Lyft making commitments to pay 100% of the legal fees for any drivers who get sued under the law, which is actually a huge aspect of what can actually happen now. Because under the law, which is considered one of the most restrictive of any U.S. state, you can actually be sued for aiding and abetting an abortion simply by driving someone to get the procedure. Also, in addition to those businesses, we've seen the Satanic Temple, which, for the record, doesn't actually worship Satan, giving pro-choice advocates a reason to join. And that because it recently filed a letter asking the FDA to allow its members legal access to the abortion pill, arguing that its status as a non-theistic religious organization should ensure access to abortion as a faith-based right. With the temple's co-founder saying the battle for abortion rights is largely a battle of competing religious viewpoints, and our viewpoint that the non-viable fetus is part of the impregnated host is fortunately protected under religious liberty laws. Also, moving to the political front, and actually unexpected political news, you reportedly have the city of Portland planning to hold a vote tomorrow on whether to ban trade and travel with Texas until the law is overturned. Though, to be clear here, citizens wouldn't actually be barred from going to Texas. The law would just make it so that state employees could not go there for business trips. Right, but then finally, and this is kind of the biggest as far as the government or a political response, with Attorney General Merrick Garland now saying that the Justice Department is exploring all options to challenge the law, and saying that until then, he pledged to protect Texas clinics that come under attack. attack, and adding, "We will not tolerate violence against those seeking to obtain or provide reproductive health services, physical obstruction, or property damage in violation of the FACE Act," which is a federal law that prohibits the use or threat of force as well as the physical obstruction of a person involved in reproductive health services. But with all that said, as controversial as this law has been for many, it's also been praised by Republicans. In fact, as I talked about that you should expect, Republicans in at least 7 other states have now suggested changing their abortion laws to mirror that of